Yeah, all right, mate. Hey, it just occurred to me that I better give you a bit of a little video of it running. There's a couple of things there's going to be heaps of things you're going to need to know. You'll get through it. Um, when you're towing it, it's a really good idea to just make sure these latches on this little cover, the little bait tank slash ice hold latched. The lid will, when you're bouncing along the road, fly up and it'll go through that hinge and you'll end up, wrecking it. I've made that mistake. So just when you're under, when you're towing it, it's a good idea to have that latched up. Now, I'll lift this up. I'll just lift this engine bay up. Now, I've taken the battery covers off. So you can see this is the start battery there, which is new. I bought that last year. She's a pretty good cranking start battery. House battery over there is getting a bit old. She's worn, all right? When I was telling you before about the paralleling the battery option, you would only ever do that if your start battery isn't starting or it's a little flat, not turning over. You can parallel the battery so you've got the juice from both of them to give it a good kick up. Now that's your freshwater rinse out system in there. I'm just going to put a hose in there and I'll fire it up so that we can so that we can get the motor running. So basically you've got water running through. Now I've trimmed the leg down. These things on either side of the boat are just scuppers out. So you've got a dry deck, all the water that comes in goes out these. This is also a scupper, which comes down out on there. That's that white one. It should have a little flap on it. It gets a bit of water washing in and out, but it's no drama. That's the other scupper there. So this system with the boat, this light might be a bit glary. You turn the key, and what it does is a diagnostic run through. You can't see it, but it runs a little lights panels through there. And it's basically checking all the sensors around the engine. Now those sensors were all replaced last year with the service. I've got all the paperwork for that. That'll come up. If there's a fault, it'll go beep beep and tell you what it is. You turn the key. She fires up pretty much like a car. Legs down. You got to do it. See this here shows you where the leg is. There's a top bit up in the red. You would never start the engine when it's up in the red. It's just to do with the alignment of the drive shaft. There's a dotted area there that you're okay to start the motor in, but you wouldn't engage it into gear in that area. It's just going to bust out your CV joints if you're between the leg and the motor, eh? So if you want to bring the revs up when you are out of the water, out of gear, you push this button on the side of the, and you can without putting it in gear, you can increase your revs. If, for example, it's a real cold start, it doesn't start so good in the mornings, in the winter or something like that, or after it's been sitting for a while, when you go to turn it over, it's probably going to flood. And what you need to do if it's flooded is you push this in, push the accelerator right forward to full throttle, and that basically clears the throat of the and you can wind it over like that. It will fire, and then you've got to bring that back pretty much straight away, eh? But you've got to remember to push that in. This thing down here is called the EVC. You need to probably get online and suss out how that all works, mate. This little minus thing up here is only for the backlighting of the thing. Like you'd think it does nothing, but when you're at night looking at it and it's on, it dims or brings up the light. That little arrow there is like a backtrack type thing. If I turn this on, you can see it gives you all the and I can use this as a little wheel like this. Turn it around, you can push it in. It gives you different data. That light's going to be crap. See if I can throw a shadow on there somehow. It'll give you different data readings on there. You can go around and you can see coolant, temperature, fuels, voltage. These different, you can push into different screens. Fuel level, not much in it at the moment. Yeah, you'll work it out. There's lots of things, but you can probably find out all about that online. There's a fuel set there's a fuel set set up so that you can actually I fill the boat up, so it's got 200 litres in it, and then I reset the fuel usage meter and basically just count it down till I'm getting down to about 20 litres or so left, and then I'll fill it up again, you know. There is fuel gauge there, there is a volt manual gauge, there's a trim gauge, but there's also trim on the unit itself does stroll through to trim levels and all of that sort of stuff. Oil temperatures, oil pressure, salt water, the coolant temperature, which is salt water obviously, but she should fire up pretty good. Like I'll just turn the key and she's away. Yep, just thought I'd do that little extra bit so you can see it running. Yeah, all good, mate. Thanks.